My name is Brian Wiggins. I am a voice actor, and I am the narrator for the Frith Chronicles. So VOLKE was an easy one. Generally, when I narrate a book, especially when it's a first-person book, I generally stick pretty close to my own vocal range, so there wasn't a lot of modulation I had to do there. I didn't have to do a lot. I think I had to be a little bit more optimistic, maybe a little bit more naive, but there's definitely a positivity and an optimism that VOLKE has.
Are you sure? This blade is sharp. Shouldn't you wear armor or something? I can handle whatever you dish out. Okay, here we go.
When I first read him, he came off as an enormous asshole. And I don't know that he's not. He's very alpha. You have almost a dangerous combination of someone who has lived a privileged life, coming from a very well-to-do family on the Isle of Ruma, and also actually being good at things. And there's a disconnect there, I think, where he doesn't necessarily know. I don't think he's been fully tested yet. He does get tested in Coliseum Arcanist, but we'll leave it at that. It's very alpha. It's very more in your face. It's very, punctuated. There's periods at the ends of those sentences. He's very self-assured of the things that he says.
Don't look at me like that, fool. You heard me. First person to knock the other out of the ring wins. So the idea behind Luther is he's speaking from shadow, so he would have a shadowy voice, right? So it would be very deep and kind of ethereal and quiet. I don't think he'd have like a big, bombastic presence. So that's where I got the idea for Luther's voice. They are stubborn beasts, and Griffin Arcanists are strong, courageous, and skilled at combat.
So ILLIA, I didn't want her to just be the female version of VOLKE when I was reading her, because she is her own person. She and VOLKE are very similar because they had a very similar upbringing from a certain point on. Both know tragedy in very different ways, but they both know tragedy. But I think ILLIA is a little bit more cynical. So I was trying to make her feminine, but without going too over the top, because she is not. She could take care of herself. She can absolutely take care of herself.
Anything Callisto is after, I'm going to take from him. He wants the World Serpent. Now, I'm going to make sure he never gets it.
Master ZELFREE is very salt of the earth. He's a man of the people. But he's seen some things. And he's been through some tragedy. And he's been through some trauma. And so for him, I was trying to go gravelly. And he's very direct. And he does not suffer fools. And he is just not patient at all. But he still has a very big heart. And he still cares very deeply for the people around him.
Listen up. Today we need to move forward with your understanding of magic. I've never had 6 apprentices at one time, and it's proving to be difficult. I apologize for not getting around to this sooner. Even if you all have made reckless decisions, I still should have sat you down and had this conversation a long time ago.
With the exception of Adelgis, the VENROVERS all are enormous douchebags. We do get a chance to meet some of the family and in Coliseum Arcanist, and I was going for an accent and a haughtiness that was just like, man, you just want to punch them in the face with you're done. They're snotty, they look down on everyone around them. They're the smartest people in the room and they know it, they're rich, so that was fun.
An artifact, don't lie. You would have broken the components and failed entirely if an artifact were your first attempt. All Arcanists create trinkets first.
I will admit, unabashedly, that the plague creatures are absolutely 100% inspired by Mark Hamill's interpretation of the Joker in the Batman animated series. It's definitely inspired by that, because what character is more unhinged than the Joker? But I will say it's not an impression of Mark Hamill. It's not an impression, Mr. Hamill, I promise. So there's a lot of laughing, there's a lot of weird cadence. Their voices are going to go up and down and change in tone almost without reason. So these are characters that whenever I'm giving them voice, I am just cutting loose.
Know who you are? The magic that binds all arcanists and Eldrin whispers to me. It tells me things. Your name, your broken sorcery, your pathetic life. It's all a bit underwhelming, to tell you the truth.